Channel J, and we're locked in. Today is the Sunday service for Shannon Burke, and we're trying to figure out how all roads are going to lead to her and what dots need to be connected, because there's a lot of people that have questions that need to be answered. And we can go through a list of those right now. Captain, Patrick, Adina, Jukebox, Kanan, Raquel, and all of them, what do they have in common? Detective Burke knows everything, and everyone has a bit and piece of information that needs to be pieced together to complete this puzzle. Now, before we jump into this and we break down Shannon Burke and how it's going to play out for everybody in Raising Kanan Season 3, if you like power content, breakdowns like this, after show discussions, then hit your subscribe button and turn your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. We're on that road to 45,000 subscribers, so if you don't see this video at 100 likes, hit that like button and also hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you. Now, let's go ahead and jump into this, because we seen Detective Howard. He was acting like this really hurt him. He acted like Shannon Burke's death changed him as a human being. But we know that he actually did it. So let's jump into it. This is the Sunday service for Shannon Burke.
You the heir to this throne, Kanan, and it's waiting for you, if you want it.
Detective Shannon Burke didn't stand for no bullshit. Forgive me, Father, but you're in a room full of New York cops. I gotta keep it real. Like I was saying, Shannon didn't tolerate no bullshit from anybody. See, she actually had 2 jobs. She was a full-time cop, and then she put in 40 more hours every week busting my balls.
I don't know why Burke killed herself, but as you're going through her cases, if you dig up anything dirty on her, I need to be the first one to know. We can't have no more bullshit getting into the papers.
Listening to Detective Howard, he would make you believe that Detective Burke was probably the best detective the NYPD has ever seen. She was just going through a lot of stress with all of the cases, what led her to taking her life. Now, we know from our perspective what was going on behind the scenes, and Detective Burke has so much information that it would crumble the whole Thomas family, and we wouldn't even have a Raising Kanan. It would be Kanan's family locked up. So what he's doing is separating himself away from any allegations or insinuating that he had something to do with it, and he was actually on Detective Burke's side. Now, everyone's hearing this, and we also get a little clip from the captain where Captain is saying, listen, we don't want any of this information getting leaked to the media or to the public, because now it went from 10 people with Ronnie getting released to 13. So there's all eyes on the New York precinct and everything that they're doing. Now, the feds are here. So with the feds doing a little bit of investigating, it's definitely about to be a little harder to move out in these streets, and Howard has to do whatever he can to protect himself, his son, and even though he doesn't want to, Raquel. Captain is just doing his job. Now, you guys have to understand from the PR standpoint, from making sure you're protecting the precinct, he just wants to make sure that everything is taken care of in-house. Yeah, the feds are going to probably get some information, but you don't want the media getting a hold of this. And that's why he was telling Howard, if you have any information on Burke, let him know first. Also, remember later on in the episode when he talks to Adina and she's like, hey, I need to talk to you about Burke, he basically shuts that down, because at this point, it's low-key an open case. Now, he does want to find out what went down, but if it has something to do with dirty cops or the inner dwellings of the precinct, he's going to want to keep that under wraps. With 13 people getting released from prison, a cop committing suicide because it's linked to some crimes that were going on in the streets, on top of Detective Burke talking to Juke and all of these underage characters, it's going to be a whole media fiasco. So Captain is just looking out for the whole entity, and that's the police precinct. But if they could crack the case before the feds, he would definitely go along with that. So he's not saying don't do anything. He's just saying make sure if it's something bad or detrimental to the police, bring it to me.
I know who you are, and I don't have anything to say to you. You shouldn't even be here.
There's something you need to know. Something Shammy before
I don't want to
that
know
night.
any more about you than I do already. As far as I'm concerned, whatever it was that you two were doing is a big part of why Shannon did what she did.
Patrick doesn't want to hear anything that Adina is talking about, because he was already telling his daughter, hey, Shannon, you are the one under investigation. Step back, do your job. Now, you got to remember the era that we're in. This is the 90s. So him blaming Adina on Shannon Burke's death, that's just the way it is. That's how they thought back then. But Adina has information that links Howard to Raquel, Howard to Kanan, Raquel being an informant, Sam getting killed because Detective Burke was piecing all of that together. So Adina, she's looking at it like, hey, when I talked to Burke right before she passed, she was trying to tell me that things aren't what they appear to be. Now, we do see Howard watching Adina. So this puts her on his potential hit list because we know Howard, he's not letting up because he needs to protect himself and his son. So Adina, she's going to be a key figure. It's just going to take her to be able to convince somebody because right now, Shannon's dad, Patrick, doesn't want to hear it. Shannon's captain doesn't want to hear it, but she has all the information. Now, I don't believe that she's going to go out there and do any digging on her own, but I do believe that she might talk to Howard, and this is going to be a bad situation for her because at this point, what does Howard have to lose? He already has a couple bodies. So at this point, you might as well continue to do what you're going to do. And Adina, she might be the missing piece to this puzzle, picking up where Shannon Burke left off because she feels guilty.
You saying that cop killed her son?
Howard's partner.
Think that's really what happened?
As much as they fuck with us, police fuck with their own heads.
So they kill themselves? Like scrap?
Yeah, like scrap.
With all of the family issues going on, even Kanan wants to know if his lying mother Raquel is going to keep it real with him because out of nowhere, Detective Burke is dead. Detective Burke has been after Kanan because remember he assaulted her in the park, ran off. She's been chasing after him. She's been trying to get information on Kanan. For him to try to be getting into the dope game and wondering, wait a minute, this just doesn't seem right. And now my mom is showing up with a Mustang. Kanan is putting two and two together and he's realizing that again, Raquel is continuing to lie to him, but there's more going on. And remember when they were in the apartment, he said he didn't know who to listen to, Howard or his mom. But once she said, oh, you're talking about Howard's partner, now Kanan is looking at, well, Howard pulls up and he looks at Kanan. Why is he coming around here when he knows that I'm trying to make a name and a move for my own self? And they're telling us that we need to work together. So Kanan this season is also trying to get some questions answered. That's why we seen Jukebox up there and she's seen Howard. So everyone knows that maybe Howard and Raquel had something to do with this. It's just what side are you going to be on? Howard trying to protect you all or Raquel continuing to lie? Now there is a task force and he went ahead and mentioned that to Raquel and to Kanan that the feds are here and they're listening. So now that we know that this task force is out here, it's up to Kanan to decide, should I even get close to Howard anymore? Or should I just keep him away like I am Raquel? Shannon Burke's Sunday service, who is going to figure this thing out? Is Adina going to be able to give out enough information, whether it's to Captain, to Patrick, or to the feds, to tell them that, hey, we do need to look into Howard and everything that he's going on? Or is Kanan going to start questioning Howard about this? Because at this point, it's kind of confusing, but they wouldn't put Detective Burke out this soon into the game if they didn't want us to try to piece all of this together. Because the feds are here and the feds are trying to figure things out. Captain is trying to keep everything under wraps. Howard is trying to protect himself. So right now, Shannon Burke is a very, very vital piece to the storyline. RIP to her. Let me know what you think about Shannon and how is this going to plan out for everybody in Raising Kanan. Now, I'm on that road to 45,000 subscribers. So if you can hit that subscribe button and like button, thanks for watching. I'm out.